Hello and welcome to Diamonds and Duds. I am Ivan.
And I am Charles.
Today is episode 38, and we are doing, in quotations, a classic from James Gunn.
Yeah,
it probably would be considered a classic.
Classic, especially if it's a good really look. This is a good look at early James Gunn. I believe this to be his first movie, at least his first major one. It's 20 years old now, and it is Slither. The classic Slither by James Gunn, the horror comedy. That we have a couple of young actors, and Nathan Fillion, Elizabeth Banks. Elizabeth Banks, went on to have all kinds of stuff. She directed the Three Pitch Perfect movie, but she's been front of the camera, tons of stuff too. Nathan Fillion, obviously, he's had an amazing career. This was one of the early post Firefly things that he did. There's a post Firefly. There were some things that he tried to do, some movies and shows that just didn't quite catch on until he hit Castle, and his career really solidified pretty nicely.
Exactly, and this was pretty much his first movie. He had done a couple small things before. James Gunn had done a couple small things before this, and the big thing Nathan Fillion was known for before this, right? You don't remember?
I mean, I knew he did. This was after Firefly.
No, but it's not. It's before Firefly. Two guys,
a girl, and a pizza place
with
Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
This isn't before Fire. This isn't after Firefly.
It might be after. I don't remember.
But yes,
it's
he's also known from Two Guys, Girls, and a Pizza Place. Eventually, they got rid of the Pizza Place part of it.
And
and there's also the most established actor at this time was Michael Rooker.
Yep, and we have I'll call it a cameo. It was probably one of her first roles she's ever had, but it was kind of fun seeing Jenna Fisher in this.
Oh yeah, Jennifer. Yeah, I was like, I forgot she's in this. Yeah. And this probably would have been during Office, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, my years blend because this was also
Office has been done for a while.
Yeah, so it was probably it wouldn't have been surprised if this was kind of at the beginning of it.
Yeah, I would
because agree. Also if this was mid Office, she would have been too big of a actor to have as that. Yeah,
so basically this is going to a horror comedy. It's going to be a lot of gross out. The effects are pretty low budget. It works for this movie because
it felt like for the most part they used practical effects when they could, and ironically, at the time the practical effects people were like, oh, that looks cheesy, because people at the time CGI was new.
Yeah, and
so people are like, oh, he should have been, because a lot of the stuff around that time was CGI crap.
Yeah,
but it was like the new thing. But like ironically, those movies' special effects don't hold up at all.
No,
but this kind of did.
No, it does. This is there's a lot of body horror.
Yes,
and this basically we see a meteor crash, and and eventually we get spend it as it's always good in these movies to spend some time getting to know the characters. Yeah,
because or else you need to care about the characters before they start dying, at least on some sort of level. Because basically the asteroid crashes, it starts. You have as the asteroid's crashing, you have the two cops in the car, Nathan Fillion and the kind of heavy set older guy. And he's trying to have a conversation with Nathan Fillion as Nathan Fillion's trying to sleep in the cop car, and it's one of the most boring conversations in television in movie history. But
and so like Nathan Fillion's basically the sheriff of this small town. We see very early that he's carried a torch for Elizabeth Banks since they were, teenagers. Elizabeth Banks is married to Michael Rooker's character.
Correct. And it talks about how basically Michael Rooker's significantly older than Elizabeth Banks, and it sounds like almost kind of like an arranged marriage is what it sounds. It's
kind of like parents died in a car accident.
Yeah, they kind of mentioned that when she was out of high school, he kind of swooped in to pay for everything.
Yeah,
probably it sounds like what the agreement was: I'll pay for this stuff if you marry me. Is kind of what it sounds like. Which I don't know if that could fly.
Probably not. But he's very overbearing, very jealous.
He's kind of an ass.
Yes. He's definitely an ass. And I love me some Michael Rooker.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah. Michael Rooker is he's great. He's really entertaining. He does all kind and all his roles. He's very very diverse.
Yes, yeah, because he's the what was it, Yondu?
Yep,
Yondu in what do you call it, Guardians? He was in first couple seasons of Walking Dead.
Yeah, he's been
tons and tons of other stuff.
Oh yeah.
Cliffhanger, right?
Yeah. Cliffhanger. That's one of his earlier mainstream.
Talking about movies whose special effects still hold up.
Yeah, no, right?
Although I can't imagine why they didn't want to do practical effects of Sly Stallone hanging over.
Yeah. So basically, he wants sex from Elizabeth Banks, who's not into it too tired. So he goes to a bar and starts drinking. He almost cheats, but he decides against it. Well, and I will say again, nice early James Gunn. Now, in my opinion, does this hold up? I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair to hold this up against Guardians, or Man of Tomorrow. And that you have to remember, okay, this is his first movie. He wrote and directed this, okay, so like you can't, and so he's. In this movie, you see he's still learning his craft, and he's doing well. He does well in this movie. But if you go seeing this, expecting the level of polish that you expect from in terms of both visually and really specifically script that James Gunn is known for now, that's not fair. We're at the very beginning of his career and the first time he's done something. And I think this is a great first thing he's done, and shows what he would learn and grow, what he has the potential to grow into.
I have a thing for you here, Charles. Yeah. Is I think I know what got him this chance.
What's that?
Because would you agree this is not your high budget?
Oh, no.
Because there was a movie he wrote before this that he only wrote that ended up being kind of a surprise, gigantic horror hit a couple years before this. The New Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he wrote that.
That was good.
I didn't know I didn't either. That came out.
That's a good one.
That came out in 2004. So my guess is that based on that, he got this. And then they probably went back and watched the smaller stuff because he did some like shorts and stuff before this. Yeah. My guess is that when they saw that, they kind of gave him. But it could have been Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed too.
Well, he did both Scooby-Doo's.
Oh, that's right.
He wrote both because he got metaphorically crucified and he's since apologized in the first Scooby-Doo. Okay, spoiler alert for like a movie that's 20 fucking years old.
And Scooby-Doo.
He didn't get crucified for the script. He got crucified by a section, not everybody. Because in the first movie, and I thought it was brilliant, he made Scrappy do the bad guy.
Oh yeah.
There was again. Not everybody was pissed off about it. There was a section that thought it was great, hilarious because there's a lot of
early days of the internet getting pissed off for pissed off reasons.
There's a lot of people. That didn't like Scrappy. And he just kind of tacked on. That's why he did that. But over the decades, he has gotten a Mount Everest level of we love Scrappy. Why did you do that to Scrappy? And so he has kind of tendency to say, yeah, okay. To those people that love Scrappy, there's more people than I thought. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
But no, Scooby-Doo probably helped.
Oh, yeah.
Just about the screenplay. Because I never watched the second one, but the first one, the screenplay is good. And so, yeah, I would agree some of those, and Dawn of the Dead probably really helped him get the chance to direct in addition to...
Yeah, and this got him a couple more smaller movies that I've heard of. But bluntly, I've never watched, but I've heard amazing things about, which is Super and Movie 43. I've heard great things about both of those.
I've heard the ultimate opposite about Movie 43.
Okay, I might be not hearing Movie 43 right because I just know I've heard of both of these.
I've heard. Who was the guy that directed him before? Is it McFarlane? No, I've heard that it's a star-studded affair.
But
I've heard that almost. I heard that every single performer almost got blackballed. I've heard that every single performer didn't, but every single performer almost got their career instant ended.
Oh, you know what? He actually,
He did segments.
So he didn't do the whole thing.
No,
Okay,
he didn't do
I
the
was
whole thing.
I was
Just
thinking of
small little pieces, kind of like 4 rooms, only really ratcheted up beyond that. So he deserves no blame for movie 43. And I haven't seen it. I've just heard that's super. I believe that's Rainn Wilson.
but that's I'm almost wondering if we should throw that on maybe for something at some point because that's Rainn Wilson and Elliot Page.
Yeah, and Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
So, but one of the things I like is Michael Rooker has ever so slight amount. There's a depth. He does resist cheating. He gets infected by a little parasite.
But I think that the fact that him resisting cheating sounds like a basic thing too.
Yeah.
But it's so important to the tone of this movie.
Yes, it is.
Because he, as him and the bar lady, they're kind of walking around the woods, and he decides not to cheat, and they come across the asteroid or whatever, and he gets shot with it. And so most movies would take the easy way out and go, okay, time to kill everybody.
Yeah.
But numerous times before they showed how much he cared, even though he's kind of a dipshit, that he cared about Elizabeth Banks.
Yes.
And that set the tone for the fact that during the course of this, there was always a part of him still in that monster.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Which is, and I agree, key to the movie. And so, basically, one effect I like is after the parasite gets in him, they'll switch to the X-ray. It shows the parasite going directly into his brain. I thought that was kind of cool. You see, he definitely changes. Elizabeth Banks has a change heart. She feels bad the next day and has sex with Worm Hubby. He hasn't changed at that point physically yet. But that's kind of funny. Especially when he becomes.
Well, you also in that scene following the morning sex scene, you see there's a scene with her and one of her coworkers. You don't see again, but one of her coworkers from school.
Yeah,
and I find that very good early James Gunn humor. Is that they're talking? She's talking about how it was like he was discovering stuff for the first. Well,
I sensed a real change. You sensed a change, all right. It's not a good one.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Grant's buying all the meat. I'll take 4, 5, 10 ribeyes. 14. Better make it 20.
And then when he gets home, his entire truck bed's full.
Yeah. And so then he says the dog, and they don't show, I don't think that dog made it.
No, yeah, I had to cover Willow's eyes for this.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. But pretty soon he's got little tendrils that are coming.
Tendrils that are coming he starts getting really sick, and he's basically at this point he's supposed to go to some. I thought they said church, but obviously it wasn't. They're supposed to go to some the opening of deer season.
Yeah,
some concert. I think it's at church. Or something.
It's a bar tavern.
Yeah, basically the deer season is such an important thing for this town. They almost have a religion around it. And Nathan Fillion has a really funny line as they kind of show him in the bar. He's like, "I'll never understand why people find it so fun to kill a happy deer in the face."
Yeah,
or something. It was something along that line.
Yeah, and so now this movie, as going through watching it, again, 20 years later, with having seen just all these examples of the James Gunn writing, I felt that there are some things that were left that they could have added more in. Not just Nathan Fillion's a very charismatic, funny. I think you could have included a few more lines. It's just a learning a few more, quippy things. There's some good ones. But anyway, but Michael Rooker, he goes, Monster Grant. And by the way, I love how his name's Grant.
Yes, and I agree. There's some stuff he could add. You also see a lot of where James Gunn's going in this.
Yes,
because Rooker goes to bar lady. I don't know who I tried to look up I didn't know but she plays it really, really well.
Yeah.
She has her baby with her. Because basically Rooker goes to her house, and I thought this was another good thing because I think he goes to Bar Lady's house because subconsciously Grant loves. Ironically, he goes to cheat on Elizabeth Banks because he loves. He doesn't because he doesn't want to infect her.
Yes.
Is what I think it was.
Exactly, it is.
And part of the Gunn humor was when the bar lady wants to have sex with him. Okay, let me put my baby down, and the baby's in the same room.
Oh yeah, but what is the baby holding? This is a baby. This is like a fucking infant. It's holding like it's gnawing on just a full tomato. This is a baby. I'm like,
I forgot about that.
Like, why does a baby have a full tomato? But then again, this James, you see the James Gunn and just what is they're doing at the bar, they're partying, they're doing a countdown. You're splicing this countdown to monster sex infection.
Well, at like 10, it's a legitimate sex scene.
Yeah.
But then by 5, she realizes she's getting fucking killed.
Yeah. She's getting infected bad. Yeah, and it's just it's funny. And then later on, Elizabeth Banks, makes it back home, and Grant started to mutate and stuff, and Grant's like, just a bee sting.
Yeah, and the practical effects on the people hold up really well in this, but I also love the fact that the little one line, like when they're in the what do you call it, zombie stage or whatever it would be called in Slither, I love how the people who are in that just try and think up some one liner.
Yeah.
A guy later says, "No, it's just poison ivy."
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Cops are looking for that woman who's disappeared. They say, "Oh, so Elizabeth Banks is kind of confused." She had seen earlier, and he had commented, "Oh, it's for your birthday." How he had put a padlock down in the basement.
A really shitty padlock.
Yes, a really, really shitty one. And so she breaks it to go down
with just a metal baseball bat.
Yes. And pet lovers are not going to like what's down there.
No, yeah.
A lot of dead animals.
Lot of dead animals. Really gross.
And so that's where we get Grant, Grant and her kind of showing down with each other, in terms of he's full on muscle. He's got the little bony, his arms. Yeah, because
his arm starts. Yeah, his arm starts getting almost like a tentacle from an octopus or something, and he starts to then go after Elizabeth Banks. But the cops who were just there a second ago to check in on her, they have this good interaction where she calls him back, and then the cops were already on. They're on their way back.
Because when the cops get her, he's choking her out. He has the tentacle wrapped all around, stuff like that, and just Nathan Fillion just as, what the fuck was that? just so, oh my god, why? And before he's like, you don't see that every day.
Yeah, the little one-liners they throw in for him, and then people who watch The Rookie or Castle or any of his umpteenth shows that he gets to have for 8+ seasons at a time.
Yeah, and so then they say Grant runs off, and we skip ahead 3 days.
We skip ahead 3 days, which I think was a smart choice.
Yeah.
It lets him advance a lot of stuff without adding an hour to the movie that bluntly they probably didn't have the budget for.
Yeah. One thing I'd forgotten about this movie is I forgot how gleefully over the top in a good way the character of the degenerate mayor is. I forgot, and I just I really love the mayor. This blatant corrupted, degenerate mayor is played very, very, very well. I love the guy.
Yes, he is. Portrayed by Greg Henry, who I know from a bunch of stuff, but for the life of me, I can't think of what it is at the moment. But yeah, he's such an asshole, and it's like they skip forward to 3 days later, but he's in the what do you call it, the police station, and his main thing is like, guys, you got to catch this guy. It's affecting deer season.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, it's like he's like a fucking tentacle monster.
Yeah. So they kind of figure out based off the pattern where he's going to probably strike next.
Yeah, so they kind of see, okay, over the course, there's like a path where Rooker's going to that they're finding mutilated animals and livestock and that kind of thing. And they kind of see, day one it was this, day two it was, and they kind of see it moving across the screen.
Yeah, and they're gonna posse up.
They're gonna posse up, and their posse is 2 extra people and the mayor.
Yeah, and by the way, this is Pam from the office. She's like dispatch worker or something like that. For the police. And so they run across him, but we see he's now very much more monstery.
He's grown a shit ton in 3 days.
Yeah, he's very fast.
Yes, he's very fast, and the special effects in this for me, since they used a lot of practical stuff, I couldn't tell it was CGI, or even if it was, it didn't dwell on it for me
and so he basically they follow him basically to this barn that's closed and it smells really bad. Nathan Fillion and his partner, they do rock paper scissors.
Yeah, because they basically they see the mutilated animals, they follow them to like a barn or something where they hear through the wall, they hear the bar lady. Through there, and then they kind of do. I thought the paper rock scissors was pretty funny. Yeah,
and the fact that his partner just blatantly cheats.
Yeah,
as a rock paper scissors, like, you suck. And you got kind of grounded for the kind of humor that Gunn's known for in his scripts. But we see the Brenda now, and she's like swelled up as big as the barn.
Exactly, and again, they use it practically as much as they could. Anytime they're zoomed in on her face, it's practical. And so basically, she's bloated with a whole bunch of slugs inside her.
Yep. And eventually, the slug, she explodes.
She explodes, which basically kicks off
chaos.
It kicks off. It's chaos time for this movie, and this was roughly 40 minutes in.
We're at the halfway point.
We're about the halfway point, which I thought was because you care about all these characters. Even the cop who cheats, you've had a couple things with him. So when the thing, explodes, for the most part, the entire posse that's remaining dies except a cop, the mayor. The female cop initially, and then Fillion and Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah, and so because the slug, the way to save this is they realize right away you got to cover your mouth because the slugs go in through your mouth.
Yep,
and these are big slugs too. These are pretty large, about the bigger than a grown man's hand.
Yeah,
and so. And so they start spreading out.
They start spreading out, and they move fast as fuck.
Yes, they're very fast. We've seen this family once, mom and dad and a few kids.
They're kind of creepy.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is whose land they're on basically. When they went for when they were doing the posse stuff, and so as the Fillion and them aren't back yet, but the slugs have reached this farmhouse and kind of goes, and the oldest daughter was in the bath.
Yeah,
I remember. Do you remember how this was kind of controversial at the time?
I don't remember it being. I just remember that was a feature part of the trailer and the poster.
Yeah,
I remember that. Was it controversial?
Yeah, I remember it because she's a
teen.
Yes.
And there's I'm like when the slug gets in the water, initially it's very much it's supposed to mimic a sperm, gliding towards the egg. It partially gets down her mouth.
Which is a key point because that did kind of let us get a lot of kind of backstory for the.
Yes, because she sees kind of some flashlights glimpses into it's a hive mind.
Since it's a hive mind, she was able to see some of the stuff that happened before. That basically these things are going planet to planet.
Yes.
Kind of thing, and now it's just Earth's turn.
Yeah. And the rest of her family died, which considering there's a couple of kids, I'm like, all right, respect the fact that they kill off.
Yeah, because a lot of these movies are scared to kill off kids.
Yes. She gets hidden, protected for the moment in the car.
Yeah, she gets protected for the moment in the car. And one of the things I also, and granted, this was kind of significantly past it was 6 years or so post 90s, so I guess maybe it wasn't a big thing at the time, but like I liked the fact that the females weren't just I can't. It's because in many ways that, and I'm bad with names, as everybody knows, so I called her Bathtub Girl for the rest of the time. In many ways, Bathtub Girl is more. She's more good at killing these things than Nathan Fillion is.
Oh God, yeah, Nathan Fillion sucks.
Nathan Fillion sucks as a cop. By the way, how did he get promoted?
Yeah,
is it because they needed him?
I don't think there's a whole lot of competition.
That's fair.
And so we go back to the barn people, and again, I love the mayor. I watch Animal Planet all the time.
I've never seen any shit like this.
I watch Animal Planet all the time.
Well, then he's also talking about suing somebody.
Yeah. And then, so the dead start to get up as puppets. Nathan Fillion has left. He left Elizabeth Banks in one of the all-time fucking dick moves with a shotgun. I'll go over why that. And he's like, I'll take the revolver. He gives her a shotgun. His shotgun, which, and then, the dead start to, get up, and other female cop bites at us. And Elizabeth Banks blows the head off one. We see the slug, exit the brain. Here's why it was a dick move.
Okay.
Nathan Fillion only gave her one bullet.
Oh, yeah.
And it's the movie think it's funny. I'm like, wait, you only gave her one bullet? Dick move.
No. Yeah. No, that part was great. Yeah. So and so basically, Nathan Fillion, Elizabeth Banks, and the mayor make it back to Bathtub Lady.
Yeah, and
they kind of all group up.
Yeah,
or I go first.
First, she's like her family's now surrounding and trying to get other. And this is where her dad, or I don't know if it's dad or stepdad, but whatever it is, I think it wasn't. She's like, what the hell? It's like. Poison ivy out back, maybe?
Yeah.
Just the way he delivers that line.
It's so good, because actually one part we skipped over was the fact that they had Nathan Fillion separate.
Yeah.
Nathan Fillion went to basically, because they don't have any cell service there, and his radio, he can't get anybody on his radio, so he's going back to the farmhouse to try and call, basically. And so he then links up with the Bathtub Lady.
Yeah.
And so then they get in his car that he has trouble opening, which the little stuff they put in this is funny. And then he's worried about where Elizabeth Banks is. I don't think he gives a fuck about the mayor.
Yeah.
But my favorite part of this entire movie, Charles, happens next.
In the car?
No. Before that.
Okay.
Before that. There's a part where Elizabeth Banks and the mayor are kind of crossing the street and don't see him initially. And Elizabeth Banks kills this cop and beats the shit out, who has a slug inside of him.
Yeah.
And then after he's completely dead because she shot him or whatever, she then kicks him.
Yeah. Fucking hardcore.
Yeah, then the mayor goes, yeah, bitch is hardcore.
Yeah. My favorite part came soon after that. So they get, there's two parts, my two favorite parts. They meet, they're all driving in the car.
Yeah.
First off, Nathan Fillion's talking with Pam to try to get her to call the CDC, and she talks about about your mom wanted you to talk back about how the toilet's backed up. It's a thing.
It was a thing you did last night.
That's funny. And then, but then also the mayor loses his goddamn mind about how she was supposed to pack Mr. Pibb in the car. The world's fucking ending, and he's pissed off that his Mr. Pibb isn't in the car for him. He doesn't get his Mr. Pibb.
I think this scene holds up with almost maybe any scene Gunn's done. Because there's another part of that the Jenna Fisher scene that's hilarious. that I'm sure you just because there's so many good parts you just didn't write it down. Is that there's a part where Nathan Fillion's talking to her, "Okay, can you call the CDC?" And she's like, she just starts.
Oh yeah.
Are you nodding your head? Yes. Oh yes. It just little stuff like that in this was great.
Yeah, and then pretty soon, Pam, gets, Pam goes down.
Pam meets her end, and yeah.
And one thing we see is that so all of these, zombies, they're all Grant. It's a hive mind.
It's a hive mind. He can talk out of any of them, and as they get to town, they get there was a car accident. They didn't go and explain it a ton, other than
they said,
did they? Okay.
Yes, Pam said because zombie
that's
Pam's
right.
like, we got a surprise for you right around the corner, killer. And as soon as the car then turns the corner, it bashes. That was an intentional attack by the zombies.
And then basically Nathan Fillion and he gets out of the cop car with the bathtub lady, and then Elizabeth Banks gets taken.
Yeah, gets taken first.
Yeah, because she was up in the passenger seat.
Yeah, they took her first.
They took her first. Basically, the two front seats could get out, but then the two back seats were blocked off. Basically.
Yeah, and so they're taken, and then the mayor. Also, basically, I think the mayor gets taken too.
Yeah,
this is by different people, and I thought the mayor was dead. But they're basically, Nathan Fillion. They go to the police, and they go to the police because his idea is, maybe if they kill Grant, then the hive mind, then everything will die, and they have a grenade. Yeah,
because the part we skipped over also at the beginning, I forgotten about until now, is that when they were getting the posse together, they open up the where all their guns are, and there's like machine guns.
Yeah, I know. That's great.
Yeah, and they just completely gloss over, but they go, "Do we need the grenade?" Yeah. Nah, you can leave that here.
Yeah, yeah, it's funny. And then so,
but actually, that goes back to what I say a lot, where all you need is something to explain.
Yeah.
So many of these movies would have just at this point gone. Had Nathan Fillion say at this point in the movie, you know what, we have explosives in the police station, but because they mentioned that grenade in a funny way earlier in the, it makes it all make sense.
Yep. And so he goes inside the station to get the grenade. He gets attacked by a deer zombie thing.
Yeah.
And she saves him.
Yes.
Not the way he's going to tell it later. But
yeah. Basically, the bathtub lady basically he goes in for the grenade. He gets attacked by what I thought was a dog. Sounds like it's a deer.
Yeah.
Basically, a deer. He and a deer start wrestling, which is really funny. And then she ends up saving him. And then my second favorite interaction is now between Nathan Fillion and her.
Yeah.
He says, because I like to do quotes in this, is that the female's like, basically she says, "What are we going to do now?" And he's like, "Probably turn into one of these things." Yeah. And then she says, "Well, that's kind of negative." Been that kind of day. I thought that interaction was just so great.
Yeah, Fillion and Gunn, you just really see the career trajectory of both of these people.
Yes,
and this is really a fun to go back and look, and just this early thing is their talent, their craft to continue to
exactly, and they work together a lot after this, don't they?
Oh yeah, they're being not quite Michael, but
because he has a small part in Guardians. Right?
He's in not the first. No,
yeah,
he's in 3. He has he has several. He was put on the cutting room floor of 2.
Okay,
he filmed stuff.
Yeah,
he filmed an extended cameo, but it didn't make the cut. Gunn had to cut it, which allowed him to put him in as a different character.
Yeah,
I think in the prison kind of guard scene in 3.
Yeah,
it was pretty and so and then Fillion's obviously he's in the DC the new DCU he's Guy Gardner and greatness.
Oh yeah, I still have not seen that.
Yeah. Oh, just say he's the Green Lantern.
I've heard amazing things.
And he's great. really good.
I love me some Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a mini part because I never watched Peacemaker, but I do know he had some kind of cameo or he showed up in some way in that. Yeah. So so that's good. And which there's a side note. There's a Green Lantern. No, I don't know if he's in it. There's a Green Lantern's show coming out.
That's cool
on HBO.
Oh, that's cool.
Bright Night Lights guy, Coach Taylor.
Oh,
he plays he's like the classic guy like Hal Jordan, but then like most people want the way more popular guy Jon Stewart or something like that. I think there's both of them. But anyways, so they have a ongoing, really, really strong. He's in a lot, just kind of like Michael Rooker is in a lot of James Gunn movies.
And I will say for anybody who's listening here I don't want to put words in my brother's mouth, but we pretty much think Nathan Fillion can do no wrong.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because, I started watching what he called The Rookie just because it was on Hulu, and I'm like, hey, I'm paying for Hulu because I like wrestling, and I got ESPN Unlimited.
Yeah.
And so, they probably watched 7 seasons of The Rookie.
Yeah, definitely. Firefly, I'm sure we'll cover Firefly at some point on here.
Yeah.
Legendary. So we see basically, we see basically there's a lot of these people are being...
They're being dragged somewhere, and Fillion and the girl are they're trying to figure out where they're going, basically.
Yeah. So some are being fed to others and being chewed on. Some are morphing into monstrosities and just merging with Grant.
And right around here, we don't have to go into too much detail, but one of my favorite actually, because the Mr. Pibb thing is the best mayor scene. The second best mayor scene, I think, is when he's in that room with the people who are he thinks they're going to eat him.
Yeah.
Okay? And there's a part, they show that and he's running away. That's all fine. There's a part after that where you see him start eating a person.
Yeah.
And the way Gunn films it is that you're not 100% sure he's infected.
Yeah.
Is that because you're not 100% sure if he's not just eating people to fit in so they won't kill him.
Yeah.
He ends up being that he's infected and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the way the mayor plays it, it might have been me just reading into it, but it felt like he was... You weren't 100% sure if he was just eating that person just because, hey, they might not kill me.
Yeah, and so, again, as we see, we're seeing that Grant's just become this... Because this final set piece is at the house. And he's big old monstrosity. And as, this stuff's happening with the mayor, and then Nathan Fillion and also Elizabeth Banks is trying to get her... there's... I don't know what song that was playing.
I forget.
Never in the history of movies... It's like a lovey-dovey romantic song. Never in the history of movies has a song matched less to the scene that was on, that the scene was being shown by intentional design.
Yes.
It is the most ill-fitting song from what's going on screen ever, and that's the point. It's really, really, it's funny.
Because basically, Rooker still at this point is still voicing the monstrosity, and he's basically, "I love you," and he's
and so
their grenade plan goes down the tubes.
Yeah, grenade, of course, gets knocked out and eventually blows up in a pool.
Yeah,
and so and then kind of in the end, Banks is the teenager's been knocked under a couch. Banks is about ready to get choked out. Grant stabs and starts sucking stuff out of Mr. Fillion, but Fillion finds something to stick the other.
Fillion basically finds a propane tank net, which makes logical sense because being near a grill and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and so he was getting one of the tubes stuck in him, so he just promptly popped that into the old.
Yeah, he popped because there was two. There's another tentacle right by him. So as he was getting the stuff stuck, he just popped it right in there and told Elizabeth Banks to shoot.
Yeah,
and bloom,
kablooey!
He blows up. And and it's just that. Pretty much, there's not a whole lot of rap other than they talk about. The teenage girl's alive, and Nathan Fillion looks very worse for wear. They're gonna, go down. Go down to the hospital.
Yeah, they're basically going to the next town over or something.
Here's one question I have. I don't think we'll ever know. This movie obviously made $5 in theaters and no sequel. one thing we do get a brief shot of Nathan Fillion's wound. Very, very brief.
Yeah.
And the only thing that is, there seems to be some kind of like, it might not be, there's just a little bit of like white pus. I just wonder if there was a sequel, if that was just thrown in there. Maybe in a sequel he gets turned into or something. No,
I think they had two. My guess is they had two choices.
Yeah.
For that, for in case this was a hit.
Yeah.
Probably had that, and they also could have said that Michael Rooker impregnated Elizabeth Banks during that sex scene.
Yeah.
In the beginning, they probably had those as a backup in case, because sometimes you never know with horror movies what's going to hit with an audience, and so you need to. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of how it ends. So let's go over our rating scales. We have two. Basically, there's diamonds and there's duds. Diamonds, it's a legitimately good movie. It goes from 1 to 5. 1 being that's all right, but I'm not gonna revisit. To 5 being it's a classic, and then dud, it's a bad movie. But like 1 is like you never want to revisit. Oh my god, I want to get my 2 hours back. 5 being it's bad, but it's like a guilty pleasure.
It's bad, but it's super fun to watch.
Exactly.
An example, and I don't remember what we rated it. And a good example of a good dud would be that Santa Claus movie.
Oh yeah, Santa versus the Martians.
Yeah, Santa versus the Martians is a perfect example of that.
Yep.
So what did you give it, Charles?
I gave it a diamond, and I gave it a diamond as a 3. Loads of fun. I thought it was fun. Again, it's a fun reason. I enjoyed it then. I enjoy it now.
Yeah, I had a diamond 3.5. A lot of the humor suits my humor, and it's good again to see kind of where James Gunn kind of came from.
Yeah,
for the most part. Yeah.
So what are we tackling next time?
Next time we are watching the '80s classic Galaxy of Terror. That we looked and it's available on YouTube for free.
Yep, YouTube for free.
Which means it's probably amazing.
Probably amazing. I think somebody who one of the producers became known.
I think so.
I think maybe he ended up making a series of shitty ass movies about blue people that are just dancing with wolves. And it's James Cameron. Fuck Avatar.
Yeah, those movies kind
of. And the rest of James Cameron's career is amazing. Yeah, so don't get me wrong. I just hate the Avatar movies.
Yeah.
But Galaxy of Terror. We'll have to check it out. So tune in next time for Galaxy of Terror, and like us.
Comment, subscribe. We're on all the stuff, the YouTubes, all this. Follow us, the TikToks, and like and see you guys in the next one.
Adios.
Bye.